You don't know, you damn well should know. My name is Rag Reynolds and welcome back to Medium Rare. Today we are talking about Tfue versus FaZe Clan and Faze Banks. So for those of you who are unaware, Tfue is a guy who has recently become the biggest gamer in the world. And who are FaZe Clan? Well, FaZe Clan is a company owned by Faze Banks. FaZe Clan has numerous YouTubers and creators under contract who make videos for them. FaZe Clan is responsible for bringing these people brand deals, helping them out, essentially managing their careers. Now Tfue was a guy who was a long-time streamer and gamer on YouTube and Twitch, and he was just plodding along, wasn't doing too great, wasn't doing terrible, until he signed with FaZe Clan. When he signed with FaZe Clan, his success skyrocketed, and soon after, he became the biggest gaming channel in the world. Now, the drama that's going on right now is entirely down to a contract dispute. Tfue filed a lawsuit against FaZe Clan, and this lawsuit stated lots of different things. It made claims that while staying in a FaZe Clan house, Tfue had been pressured and encouraged into drinking despite being underage. It also claimed that he had been pressured into illegal gambling. Now, aside from those specific legal issues, the lawsuit also was talking about the contract between Tfue and FaZe Clan. The lawsuit was claiming that Tfue basically was being used by FaZe Clan. They were taking all of his money. That FaZe Clan were taking 80% of the money made from brand deals that were bought to him, and that they were taking lots of his prize earnings from tournaments, and also lots of merchandise money and subscriptions and all this other revenue. So Faze Banks, the guy who owns FaZe Clan, did an interview with Keemstar on Drama Alert, and then he came out with his own video talking about the situation, about how he feels betrayed.
I'm just kind of spitting this from the heart. I got nothing written down. Most of it is a complete lie, exaggerated, and it's tactical, which you don't use tactics and legal strategy against friends. Because I thought before anything else, before the business shit, before anything like that, before egos, before views, before all that, honestly, I thought we were friends. Tfue, I called you my family.
He feels betrayed because this is a guy he looked at as family. He really did have a soft spot for this guy. He discovered him and he helped him grow his channel into a huge thing. FaZe Banks in his video also claims that yes, although there were certain stipulations in this contract where they could take, say, 80% of certain brand deals brought to Tfue, that FaZe Clan had not even once ever collected on any of these things. FaZe Banks claimed that in the entirety of their working relationship with Tfue, they have only claimed a total of $60,000, which in comparison to the money Tfue is earning, he claims is pretty much nothing, because apparently Tfue is making millions and millions of dollars. So a lot of this was all just he said, she said, there wasn't really any definitive proof, and then Tfue, a couple of days later, decides to drop his own very short video responding to the situation.
Yo, what is up, guys? I'm gonna keep this video really short and to the point. What I really want to talk about is the main point. I never wanted to upset anybody. I never wanted to bring that stuff in. I never wanted to get anybody to get emotional, because this isn't about that. This is about me and this contract. This contract that I signed when I didn't know any better. I'm an idiot. I should have never signed it in the first place.
Now, comparing Tfue's response to FaZe Banks' response, I mean, I'm not a fan of either of these guys, but I must say FaZe Banks' response was emotional. It seemed genuine, whereas Tfue's response, it was robotic. It was pre-scripted. It took him a couple of days to even come out with it in the first place. It seemed very disingenuous to me. It seemed like he was very cold and calculated about all of this. And in his response, he asks FaZe Clan, he asks the public to get on board with hashtag release the contract.
But FaZe Clan, please release the contract for the public to see. Everybody, hashtag release the fucking contract.
He wants FaZe Clan to release his contract to show the public what is actually in that contract. But what I think was important to note is that in Tfue's video, he never once disputed the fact that FaZe Banks had claimed they only collected $60,000 from him. He never contested that fact. He never really contested anything that FaZe Banks really had to say. What I also found interesting was at the start of Tfue's video, he made the point of disregarding the whole drinking and gambling aspects of the lawsuit.
First, I want to say all the stuff about the gambling, the stunts, the drinking. I told my lawyer I did not want that in there, and he will do exactly just that. He will take it out. So that is no worries.
He says that he has told his lawyers he doesn't want that in there, and that they will comply with that. So I'm left wondering, why was that in there in the first place? Surely you knew what lawsuit was being filed. Surely you had some idea what was going on there. Surely they didn't just submit this lawsuit with this information without your go-ahead. That seems strange to me. I'm not sure I can quite believe that he didn't know that was there. He didn't sign off on that. So I feel like he's now just trying to cover his own ass, because Faze Banks and many others have pointed out since the lawsuit came to light that there were specific videos with evidence of Tfue drinking underage before he was ever signed with FaZe Clan. So the idea that he was pressured into it and encouraged to drink underage was a ridiculous one when he was already shotgunning beers at parties in the past. After this video was posted, part of the contract actually ended up getting leaked. And this part of the contract basically confirms what was said before. What you can see here is brand deals brought in by FaZe Clan, Tfue gets 20%, FaZe Clan gets 80%. In-game sticker or merchandise, Tfue gets 50%, FaZe Clan gets 50%. Brand deals brought in by gamers, so that's brand deals specifically brought in by Tfue, I would assume. That is 50% each way. Appearance fees, 50% each way. Prize dollars from stuff such as tournaments, 80% to Tfue, 20% to FaZe Clan. So for the most part, this is pretty much what everyone had already been talking about. This is pretty much what was in the lawsuit. This is pretty much what Faze Banks acknowledged. And yeah, the contract doesn't look that great in Tfue's favour. However, what you have to then acknowledge is the fact that Faze Banks has claimed that FaZe Clan has been trying to renegotiate a contract with Tfue for a long time. This is a contract that was signed when Tfue was much smaller. He was not a big channel. This is a contract that was signed when he was a small channel signing on with FaZe Clan. So of course the terms of this agreement are going to be not as great as they would be if he was to negotiate a contract now. But Faze Banks claims that FaZe Clan have been trying to renegotiate a contract, but Tfue has been completely non-responsive. He's not been helpful. He's not tried to negotiate. He's just kind of ignoring every attempt that FaZe Clan have made to try and get a new contract on the table. And that might be explained by a tweet posted by Keemstar. So Keemstar got a direct message from Tfue's brother. So Tfue's brother Jack says, Turner wants to create his own org, work with the brand he wants, and overall be free to change the face of gaming forever. FaZe refused to allow him to do this. Turner creating his own org is in his best interest. Emotions and friendship aside, the corporate side of FaZe wouldn't let that happen. Turner had no choice. This was his only option to get out of his contract to make his plans and dreams a reality. Banks might be upset, but Turner doing this is going to help a lot more people than it hurt. So the idea here is that the reason Tfue was unresponsive to try and get a new contract is because he didn't want a new contract. He wanted out of his contract so that he could set up his own organization. He wants his own organization so that he can have his own big thing and make even more money. And obviously, as Tfue's brother Jack says in that message, FaZe is never going to let that happen. So suddenly, things are all starting to add up. To me, it's pretty apparent at this point that Tfue is filing this lawsuit for one reason and one reason only, and that's because he wants out of his contract. Now, I have a little bit of sympathy for Tfue. He was a smaller channel, and suddenly he blew up into this huge thing, and now he wants to do his own thing, but he can't because he is bound by a contract that isn't that great for him. I can understand that. However, we also need to hold Tfue accountable. He chose to sign this contract. No one forced him to. He chose to sign this contract. No one held him at gunpoint. No one coerced him into it. He made the decision to sign this contract and be a part of FaZe, regardless of how bad that contract is for him. And with that partnership, Tfue has grown into a huge channel that arguably he would never have grown to without FaZe. The evidence that Tfue's success came entirely around because of his association with FaZe is overwhelming.
I want you guys to understand something very important too. FaZe and Banks have every right to be super emotional. What you guys are about to see right now, Sunday, April 1st, this is the day, this is when Tfue got signed with FaZe. Look at these graphs.
I understand that there are a lot of contracts like this one that FaZe has with Tfue, and I'm sure there are loads that FaZe have with other people, and I'm sure other networks, other organizations have terrible, terrible contracts with lots of other people. I know people get screwed over with these sorts of contracts all the time, and I have the utmost sympathy for them. However, I think we also need to hold people a little bit accountable. People need to honor their word. If you sign a contract that says, I agree to these terms, you need to stand by that. It doesn't matter if you suddenly decide, well, that contract's not in my best interest, this contract isn't fair. The reason you sign a contract is to give your word, to say, I agree to these terms, you help me, I'll help you. If people are just going to turn around and decide, I don't want to be in this contract anymore, so I'm going to go do my own thing, then what's the point of having a contract in the first place? Suddenly, we can't take people's word for things anymore, and that's something that is becoming more and more apparent in society as time goes on. People's words, people saying, yes, I will do this, yes, you have my word on this, that is meaning less and less as generations progress. And I like to think of myself as a man of integrity, and although I have the utmost sympathy, as I keep saying, for Tfue and anyone else being screwed by a bad contract, I also very much think that they are responsible for signing that contract. They signed their name on the dotted line. They said they agreed to those terms. It doesn't matter if you agree to bad terms, maybe if you were lured in under false pretenses, maybe if someone had lied to you, all this sort of thing, bad faith, maybe then, maybe then I would agree with Tfue and think, okay, he should be able to get out of this contract. But from everything I can see, FaZe doesn't seem to be treating him badly. Although they do have the power to take so much revenue from him, they've not been doing that. And I say they've not been doing that without evidence because no one has disputed it. Faze Banks made the claim they only took $60,000, and Tfue had the chance to respond and say that was a lie, but he didn't. So to me, his silence on that fact confirms it. But hey, this is just one man's opinion. You can let me know what you think about this situation down in the comments. Whose side are you on, Faze Banks or Tfue? I wouldn't say I was specifically on either side. I mean, as a principle, I would say maybe I'm on FaZe's side simply because Tfue has signed this contract, he gave his word on this, and now he's trying to break that word. But at the same time, on an emotional level, on a sympathizing sort of way, I can feel sympathy for Tfue. I do feel sorry for him, and I wish everything was better. And I wish he wasn't going through that. And I wish his contract wasn't so shitty. And I wish he was able to go out and do the things that he wants to do. But until next time, everyone, I'm Rag Reynolds. That was your medium rare drama. And you're welcome, society.
There is a man called Rag Reynolds. He has one hell of a mind. He uses it for all